Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Personal Projects Fair of MYP Grade 10 students of CKS College. In a little while, you will witness the products of our students' consolidation of learning through year-long inquiry and development of important ATL skills they'll need in both further education and life beyond the classroom. Through these projects, students develop confidence to become principled lifelong learners. To the parents and to the personal project supervisors, we thank you for the support you had extended to these students for the success of their projects. I myself have witnessed how they inquired and applied their ATL skills and developed to become independent learners. Apart from practicing and strengthening their approaches to learning skills, the personal project encourages students to develop an area of personal interest. The personal project provides an excellent opportunity for students to produce a truly personal and often creative product or outcome and to demonstrate a consolidation of their learning in the MYP. Thank you very much, and we hope you will enjoy the presentation of our students.
Congratulations, MYP students! MYP 的同学们，恭喜你们完成了自己的个人计划。For MYP students, personal projects are the culminating projects for you to demonstrate the ATL skills that you have learned and prove us that you are ready to move forward to the DP program. I believe looking back at the process, all of you will agree that the efforts you put in are worth it. I hope in this journey you have understand that you have an active and constant role in your learning. It may not always seem like it, but you are in control of your own failure or success. Congratulations again and see you in the DP program. 恭喜大家 DP 见了，恭喜哦。
Good day everyone, I am Mr. Joshua Cedric A. Gundayao, an IB MYP Personal Project Supervisor, and it is with pride and honor to present to you my personal project mentees. To start with, first, we have Stanford Chu Was Trained to Success, a blog about his fitness journey. Second, we have Alisa Go's handbook about Southeast Asian herbs and its benefit to the immune system. Third, we have Jillian Kowa's K-pop on the Move, a blog about the effects of Korean popular culture to contemporary society. And lastly, we have Jenna C's collection of painting, a painting that shows the effect of COVID-19 to the new normal. Thank you and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Stanford. And did you know that I forced myself to create a diet plan that would help me lose many pounds? Yes, I did that. Today, I'll be showing you my personal project. This project is important to me. Why? Well, it is because I've always wanted to show off my friends that I could actually do a proper diet. After doing this project, I can say that intermittent fasting can help you lose weight. So, what is my goal? My goal is to lose weight and to create tips for others who are interested in doing this. So how would I help others, would you say? So I would be creating blogs that would consist of tips and hacks related to my diet. I thought about this plan because my friends have been teasing me about me not doing a proper diet. And I want to lose weight because to boost my confidence. And I also wanted to be active, so this could be a good first step to be active. The final product would be a blog. Why? Well, it's because I have wanted to be a person who can actually write or type. I don't write. I'm not a writer myself, but I want to challenge myself to do something that I usually don't do. I usually create a plan by writing all I know in notes, then reassembling them in a proper format. I don't have any people who have this kind of diet. Therefore, my only friend to ask is YouTube or internet. I researched on food hacks and useful information on what to do during a diet. So this final product, which is a blog, contains 7 entries containing useful information about the diet I did personally. It shows useful tips and the adventure that had happened during my diet. Where can you see my blogs? Well, I use a website called Wix or wix.com to help me create the format and where I could show other people about my blog. I mostly research food related and hacks that I could use during my diet. I also self manage myself by doing this diet properly. In criteria, I have created 4 parts in my criteria that would grade me related to my personal project. The first one talks about the content of my final product. Second would be the creativity towards creating my final product. Third is if the goal was fulfilled. Then fourth is the flow of my personal project. I created what was if I would be grading myself, I would be grading myself about 20% in the content. Why? I think that the content is already there, but the word choice and the grammar, I guess, would confuse the reader and make it not understandable. Therefore, I gave myself 20%. Second would be the creativity. I would grade myself 15% there. Why? Because I didn't put a lot of effort towards designing my final product. And mostly the blog is filled with text and letters. Third is if the goal was effective from start to end. I would like to give myself there a 30% for this one. Why? Because I believe that I keep remembering my goal and I never once forgot what I was supposed to do. Don't eat a lot. Don't eat a lot. Lastly, is if the plan was followed. Well, I gave myself there a 10%. Why? Because sometimes I may have cheated the plan, like eating a little too much. Therefore, giving a 10 would be a good choice for me. So, why is reflection important? Well, in my opinion, reflection can help us understand what are the positive and the negative we created, the accomplishments and the failures we created during our personal project. The challenges I encountered were mostly hesitation towards eating and not cheating. My already good diet plan. If I didn't solve this issue, I couldn't have finished this diet easily. After finishing my project, I felt satisfied that I finished a task, and I would finally say that one. I finished a diet and two, actually making a blog. So, as an IB learner, I have shown ADL skills and some IB learner profiles, which are mostly research and communication, and these two have been mostly with me during my whole IB life, and never once I forget. In conclusion, this whole personal project is interesting for me because from doing something I really don't like and actually had the motivation to actually do it is something I don't mostly do. I wanted to people to try something that is different from their normal lives. That is why I tried doing this plan in order to try something new. Thank you.
What comes to mind when you think about the word herb? Is this a herb? And you would be right, but you were thinking about the botanist's version of what is a herb. An herb to them is something that is flowery and grows and dies back to the soil. It is something that's not as hard as wood, but is soft. But what if we think about the herbalist's idea? This is an herb. This is laurel leaves. Definitely. This is a mango. You may be thinking, isn't that a fruit? Well, it's actually a herb. With these two examples, you were able to see the different characteristics of each herb. This one's green, this one's yellow, this one's leafy, this one is not. Today, we are going to investigate. Both of these are part of the Southeast Asian herbs, which is what we're going to be discussing today. Join me as we venture into my personal project. Let's go! Hi, my name is Elisa Go, and my project aims to investigate on how exactly herbs are used for medicinal purposes. I chose to focus on this topic as immune systems is responsible for preventing and fighting off infections and helps ward off sickness. When I was little, my grandmother would always emphasize the importance of herbs and how it was an integral part of our culture. Therefore, I chose to focus on this project as a way to pay homage to my family's culture. Actually, my grandmother used to give me different books pertaining to the different herbs found in Southeast Asia in different languages. So for this project, I'd also like to explore my own identity and relationship pertaining to my culture as well. So today, we're going to be discussing which herbs can help the immune system or help ward off sickness. The goal of my project is to create a handbook about the various herbs found in Southeast Asia that is used to help boost immune systems. With this begins the investigation. By proper investigation, one can find themselves the reason and/or causes. For this case, finding out the effects of herbs can give us an understanding about traditional medicine as a whole. Each herb works in various ways to protect immunity and even boost immune health. Research over the past several decades continues to demonstrate that various herbs can have a positive health impact, boost immunity, and aid in the reduction of symptoms associated with a variety of health conditions. Throughout this entire project, planning has been an integral part of the investigation. So here are my key points for planning. I'll be discussing the product, how I planned stuff with my schedule and time, the inspiration behind all of these, and the ones who supported me throughout this entire process. So with my goal and purpose already stated, it's time to think about my product. I've spent months wondering what type of product would be the best way to present this project. And I've contemplated and have decided that I would be using a handbook instead, because it will make everything complete, comprehensible, and clear. And hopefully, it'll be interesting enough for different people of different ages to read. By creating a proper schedule, I was able to complete this project with ease and promptness. I made sure to set a proper schedule and date for every task that needed to be due to be formed into a timeline to make it comprehensible. Nevertheless, even with creating a proper schedule, I must thank my wonderful grandmother for helping me transcribe some of the text. Although despite we're having a hard time with the current circumstances, she aided me throughout this entire project that I cannot thank her enough for. Thank you, Nona. In addition, I would like to thank my mother as well for helping me transcribe the information, as well as with my friends who helped me read the drafts, for all of their constant support and constant encouragement throughout this entire project. This wouldn't be possible without their help, and I'd like to thank them for them, and I hope they know that. Given all of the ways people can weaken their immune system, it's important to boost and protect it. With the goal and purpose already done alongside the planning, it's time to take action. First and foremost, let's decide on the cover of the book. This was the initial design of my handbook. It had all the elements. It showed the herb, it showed the title properly, but the problem was, it's not exactly eye-catching now, is it? Now watch me use my magic and let's change it. So here's the final design of the handbook. I decided to make it bright and more colorful to make sure that it's actually eye-catching when seen on shelves. This is my personal project's criteria, divided into strands: content, comprehensiveness, visual, and visual aesthetics. Hopefully, my product will be able to fare against my criteria and be used as a basis. So, this is my final product. What do you think? Wanna take a look inside the content? I'll show you. Here are some of the pages from the final output. I tried my best to make it visually entertaining while also having enough information with sources, of course. With that, this book is also a step forward for obtaining substantial scientific evidence with the help of identification of active ingredients of medicinal plants. A handbook that had the herbs split up into different categories, which what you see right now, which is the 4, in which they would impact the immune system, while also specifying facts, trivia, and origins. This project has helped me develop my skills in areas such as self-management in terms of planning and schedule, while also developing research and thinking skills throughout the investigation process, as I needed to analyze complex concepts and projects into their constituent parts and synthesize them to create a new understanding and consider ideas from different perspectives and sources. I developed my skills such as media literacy and even communication skills in order to use appropriate forms in writing. So far, I have learned a lot and grown as a learner throughout this entire process. Created was able to fare against my own criteria. Success! Throughout this entire project, I have encountered many challenges. The hardest challenge that I had to overcome was to analyze and synthesize from different points of views, as I had to review the information and support them with other sources. Creating a visually appealing book was also very difficult, as I had to think of ways for the visuals not to obscure the text, which was my problem throughout the entire process actually. I was able to test my communication skills in writing form, learn to create balanced schedules, and be knowledgeable by considering different sources. Not only that, I have noticed and learned the significance of preserving the methods of traditional medicine. Traditional medicine practices have safeguarded the health of indigenous communities for generations. It is therefore imperative to preserve this knowledge and save them for future generations. Alright, so let's have a quick yet informative recap of my project. Why immune systems? I chose to focus on immune system as it is responsible for preventing and fighting off infections and help ward off sickness. My product? A handbook that had the herbs split into different categories in which they would impact the immune system, while also specifying their trivia and origins. With this project, I was able to explore more about myself and my culture, while also learning about skills that could help me as a learner. Although this project is somewhat stressful, it helped me build up the confidence enough to start researching, build my confidence in different areas that I'm unfamiliar with, and such, it helped me grow as a learner. But let me tell you this, the stress is only the beginning of everything. This is only the first obstacle you overcome. It'll get worse, but that's not supposed to be negative. It'll get worse, but you have to have the strength to overcome everything. So good luck, guys! I hope you enjoy your personal project. Let's buy!
Have anyone heard about K-pop? If not, how about K-drama? Well, all of these are part of Korean popular culture. It affects a lot of fans of these topics. And with this being said, here is my project report, a personal project about Korean popular culture. So, before I start, I wanted to ask myself, how can I improve my research skills and learn more about Korean popular culture? By this, I set myself a goal that I should learn and create a blog containing different information about Korean popular culture. With this being said, since I would like to focus on popular culture, the global context that I will be focusing on is personal and cultural expression, because I would like to focus on looking into different kinds of influence that Korean popular culture gave to a lot of people. Why is it relevant? Because it is something that a group of people are fond of. And by this, we can help connect each other by understanding each other and be aware. And it is also relevant because I want to expand my knowledge and understand how pop culture is not only a thing, but something to create a community out of, to change for the better. By this, I mean we can create change by helping each other and understanding each other. And lastly, expanding more on pop culture can help with education because it can help them strive more to be better. This is because on how pop culture can expand your knowledge, and it can also help with education because you get to understand the topic more. And from this phase one, I was able to learn how to be knowledgeable, an inquirer, because both of them helped me because of the range of disciplines which has global significance, and I try to learn on my own based on my curiosity. The ATL skills that I learned are research skills and thinking skills. It's because I learned to make more connections between various sources and also consider ideas from multiple perspectives, which helped me get to Korean popular culture and expanding it to a lot more topics. The next one is planning. And I started my planning with different worksheets. As you can see in this picture, each worksheet contains a step-by-step basis in completing my personal project, from the inquiry question to making the product itself. The outcome that I'm planning to do is a blog. I chose a blog because a blog contains a lot of information, and a blog is something that is new to me because I haven't done a blog before. And I think that it can create a big impact since it is a part of popular culture in a way that everyone uses a blog and are familiar with it. And for the criteria, these are the 5 topics that I would be focusing on. I think that the criteria can be effective because all of this can relate to my goal. The next step is taking action. By taking action, I faced a lot of problems, and during this process, it took me a lot of time because I had a lot of challenges during this process. Also, I had to make draft starting from the blog post to the design of the blog. And to show you a brief summary about the process, the first thing I did is to find the platform, which is Wix.com. It is a free editor website to make my blog, and it is easy to use. And with that being said, I started designing the blog. And the design aims to be simple yet appealing because I want to focus on the content itself. But I tried to make the design appealing so that it can attract attention. And for me, this blog is important because it is to help people understand the culture more. The next thing I did is writing blog posts. It contains a total of 6 so that the readers can have a more brief idea and expand their knowledge with this topic. The next thing I did was citing sources. And the last thing I did is compiling everything and make the product itself. This is the progress of the project. As you can see, the first one is about the draft and the last one is more about the final draft. This is the final product, and as you can see, there's a big difference because of me exploring the blog more, and it has been really effective. So the key points about the blog is here. To make it short, the Beginner's Guide to K-pop talks about the things that you need to know if you're new to K-pop. The next one is the evolution of K-pop. It covers how K-pop evolved through time. The next one is how K-pop unites people. It shows the power of fans that K-pop made, that made them unite to one another and have a deeper connection. The next one is how K-pop spreads awareness. It spreads awareness through their music and their influence to fans. It shows different ways on how they spread it with their fans. The number 5 is the influence of K-pop to fans, which talks about how the influence of K-pop to fans has affected the fans positively and negatively. Lastly, the other side of K-pop. This talks about how K-pop is not always being the one who are mentally happy and successful, because behind those smiles, there's another side of K-pop that you didn't know. The last part I learned is the reflecting part. Unexpected challenges and opportunities were made in a way, which are the self-management and being reflective. Self-management is the way that gave me an opportunity to be able to balance my work. It is also the skill I grown from the project because on how I was managed to manage my time in a way that I get to balance my social life, my academic life, and also with this personal project. The next thing that an opportunity that gave me is being reflective because while managing my time, even though I didn't really manage my time well at first, I get to reflect the day after. What I learned from the project is enhancing and improving my skills can help me in the future because of the skills such as the communicating skills, research skills, It can help me in the future in a way that I could be a better person by having these skills. Lastly, I learned is how unique Korean popular culture can be, because on how a culture can be very unique in a way that it has its own pros and cons, and it can affect the fans in a way that it is really different. That's why it became a global phenomenon. Lastly, the skills that I grown from this project is research, thinking, and self-management. Research because I was able to find alternatives and still finding my way to find reliable information that can help me in this project. Thinking skills by thinking about ideas from different perspectives. The next thing is knowledgeable and balanced. I was able to be knowledgeable because of how I can think more and have more knowledge because of researching more. Lastly, I was able to be balanced because of my self-management skills. And that's it for my project. I hope that you get to learn a lot, and I hope that this project can help you have a more idea about the personal project, and I'm looking forward for your personal project. So good luck.
Hi everyone! Today I'll be presenting my personal project. So this presentation contains my goal and global context, the challenges, research criteria, my process, infographic, the final product, and lastly my reflection. So let's start! So my goal was to spread awareness about COVID-19 through art. And the global context I chose was personal and cultural expression. There were 4 challenges I faced during this time, one of which is giving the message. Due to the fact that we all have our own perspectives, giving out a message doesn't really give the right message because others have their own opinions. Time was also the challenge because of the time I spent planning and making the product. Applying the IB learner profile and ATL skills was also a challenge because I had to keep them in mind during this time so to execute my personal project nicely. And lastly, the materials. Because of the quantity and how much I used the materials I needed to make sure I had enough. So my research started by looking through articles and pictures mostly because I didn't want to spread false information and giving out people to spread misinformation. So the criteria I made was specifically fitted for this personal project. I focused on 4 things: creativity, focus, originality, and message. So the process started of me opening a docs for a diary and minutes to keep track of my progress and also do my worksheets, which are 4 of them here as you can see. Following that, I started placing pictures in a drive to make sure of keeping the pictures I wanted to do for this personal project. After researching and all, I did my criteria before starting to do my personal project. Before I place my artworks on the wall for this personal project, I had to plan through them by size and also how to arrange them to fit all together. Before I show you my final product, this is a summary of my personal project through an infographic. So, my personal project is mostly about the effects of the COVID-19 to the world, and with that topic, I will use my painting skills to create a collage with it. This project is important to me because most people are not finding this virus seriously as they should be. I made this project as a mission to make people be more aware of the virus since people are not well aware regarding the topic. My final product is a collage. It is about the effects of COVID-19 to us and the society. The artworks consist of various mediums from watercolor to color pencils. So here's my final product. Uh, in the right side, you can see one of my paintings that I did. While picturing, I had to I had difficulty putting that on the wall because it was heavy and it kept falling down while I was taking pictures. So I decided to just place it on the side and place an arrow where it should go. Lastly, I'll give you my reflection of this personal project. Overall, in the end, I find this personal project as one of the best achievements that I have for this year. I hope to grow more in the future using the help that the ATL skills and IB learner profiles still help me along the way. I also hope people will understand my paintings with a whole new perspective, letting them try to understand that my paintings are trying to explain to them about the difficulties that we are facing. Thank you for listening, and I hope you find my personal project interesting. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Nesa Marie W. Labore, an IB MYP Personal Project Supervisor. And today, I am proud to present the works of my mentees. The first one is from Jimmy Stephen Esguero, and it's called Learning French in a Span of 4 Months. The second is from Jessica Yomi Kowa, and it's called Yomi's Baking Business Journey. And the last one is from Ian Benedictsu, and it's called Creating a Mashup Song Cover.
Have you ever learned a language that's totally new to you? Do you know how it feels like? If you don't, you came to the right place. Hi, my name is Jimmy Stephen Esguero, and I'm a student from CKS College's IB program. My project is all about learning French. This project is very important to me because I've always had the ambition to immigrate to Canada ever since I was a little kid. In my eyes, Canada is a safe haven and a place that gives me hope for a happy and peaceful life. Well, French and English are Canada's official languages, which is why I want to learn French. So, my thesis statement is learning a language can be a rigorous process, especially if we are given a limited time to do so. Through planning and effective execution, I believe that I can learn a sufficient number of French vocabulary and phrases. Now, first and foremost, the investigation. My goal for this project will be to learn and understand 300 French words or phrases. The global context that I chose is personal and cultural expression, and I will be mainly focusing on the discovering culture strand, because learning our language is a part of every single culture. This global context can assist me to reflect on my personal project and my progress as a learner. The research that I've conducted on this project will be the fact that I will use Memrise as the application where I will learn French, while I will use DaVinci Resolve to edit my product. Secondly, planning. My project will be a documentary blog showcasing my weekly updates while learning French. I plan to learn 300 French words or phrases. In order to achieve that goal, I would have to construct an efficient routine, which is why I made a routine where I have to learn 30 phrases and vocabularies per week. This plan has helped me manage my time and workload and my mental health really well. I learned that if you have a big project, break them up and distribute the workload evenly. Therefore, doing the task will be less stressful. Now, I've sought Ms. Naisa Labor to aid me throughout this process. She helped me decide on big decisions by giving her insights about them. And also, I have contacted Ms. Diana Taala because she offered to review the validity of my product. Ms. Diana Taala sent a reaction paper about my product. Her response was very knowledgeable and helpful, and it really helped me learn more about the French language. She also gave me a helpful advice on how to better my language. Thirdly, taking action. I have utilized my research, thinking, and self-management skills throughout this process. With the research that I have conducted, I was able to learn about topics that interest me, such as the meaning of some French songs, and also the story behind the month of July and August. This helped me develop and become a more knowledgeable person. Through thinking skills, I was able to transfer my learnings in French to my individual and society subject. Well, we are learning about well-known French philosophers, and through my knowledge in French, I was able to gather some context clues that helped me understand what France was like before. Also, I was able to develop my self-management skills. Through this process, I learned how to plan a routine, stick to a routine, and execute a routine. I also have a project journal where I take down notes and my emotions throughout this journey. With the routine that I made, I was able to manage my time and my mental health more efficiently. Ça va? Are you good? No? Comment? Quoi? On coupe? Au revoir? Parler? What about? C'est dommage? T'inquiète pas? Well, yeah, those are like the basic French words that I can think of. And I can say that this week is more towards introduction rather than survival kit. Well, this one is also survival kit, but this one is less of like when you're in danger and you have to save things. Like for last week, I have learned this phrase, which is "Le moi tranquille," which is "leave me alone." And well, we didn't learn much of that in this week, and it's more on introduction. Like for example, "On se connaît," which is "Do we know each other?" "La bonne nuit," which is "Good night." Well, yeah. Then "Félicitations," which is "Congratulations," which is weird how that is congratulations, while "Bon anniversary" is "Happy birthday." Anniversary, congratulations. See, it's weird, but it's interesting. This week I learned more on the numbering system of French, wherein like how you say some certain numbers. Like let's take 1 to 10 for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then these. So yeah, that's the 1 to 10 since everything's based on those numbers. They're like 11 to 16, you put a Z at the end. Like for example, uns is un is 1, then z, which makes it 11. Now, lastly, reflection. This is my criteria. My final product came as anticipated. It has achieved almost all of the criteria listed, which makes my product a good product. However, I did not fully achieve the fourth criterion. Therefore, I will utilize this opportunity as a sign for improvement. I have developed as an IB learner. Well, for starters, I learned how to appreciate how beautiful and rich French culture really is. I have used my knowledge in French as a way for me to express my ideas, thoughts, and self. Essentially, my learnings in French has helped me understand what personal and cultural expression really means. I learned a lot throughout this process. not only to myself but also to my environment. To further elaborate on my development as a learner, I would like to demonstrate how I improve myself through the IB learner profile. The IB learner profiles are balanced, communicator, and reflective. Firstly, balance. I learned how to manage my time while learning French, studying for summatives, finishing tasks, and also taking care of my well-being simultaneously. Secondly, communicator. I improved my public speaking skills through presentations our school had held about our personal project. Lastly, reflective. I learned how to appreciate almost a lot of things, such as how I have supportive family, friends, and teachers that are happy to guide me through my breakdowns and accomplishments. I also learned how to appreciate myself and love myself openly, accept my weaknesses and strengths, because I have realized that befriending yourself is a better alternative than doubting yourself. Now, I would like to give a huge shout out to Miss Nisa Labore. She's my advisor, and well, she has guided me all throughout this project. Well, I don't know what I will do without her guidance. Therefore, I want to thank you, Miss Labore, for being one of the best and kindest teachers I've met all throughout high school. Now, thank you. Now, with everything taken into consideration, this experience of learning French has been a fulfilling journey. I've learned a lot throughout this experience, as a learner, as a friend, and as a person. I learned new skills that I will believe will help me later on in life. Just as Federico Fellini, an Italian filmmaker, once said, a different language is a different vision in life. That concludes my personal project video. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a happy day. Goodbye.
This is Jessica Yomi Koa, or Yomi from the Philippines. Today I will be presenting my personal project called Yomi's Baking Business Journey. This is a platform where we grade 10 students would be developing our own abilities and also build our own personal interests. Through testing the things that we will investigate and plan, we will also get a chance to take action and reflect on our milestone creation. Just a little bit of information about myself. I started baking at the age of 11, and since then I was very attached and connected to it. I went to culinary schools, baking courses, and was able to improve my baking skills more. That's why in this year's personal project, I inquired myself on how can I creatively use my knowledge and experience in baking. According to Joanne Foster, an educational consultant, teacher, and award-winning author, a lot of children have the power of knowledge but lacks creativity. Creativity is one of the most exciting parts in life, but not all children and teens recognize or appreciate this. A lot of teens nowadays are having a hard time to be creative because they don't want to insert time, effort, or simply worried about the unexpected situation. Personally, I don't want this to happen to me. That's why my goal for this personal project is to start selling my baked goods through an online business. This goal is challenging for me since I have zero experience in selling, and there are a lot of factors that need to be conducted to meet the standards of the customers. The product that I will be choosing for this year's personal project is creating a blog using Tumblr. Here, I will be using my creativity and reflecting on the things that I realized along this journey. I chose this type of product since I believe that this platform is where I can improve my skill in transferring and communicating a message to an audience. This is where people would get to be inspired and motivated to the things that I will say and the things that they want to pursue in life. The first thing that I planned was creating a timeline for my personal project to guide me for the future tasks that I need to be accomplished. Here, I was able to write down the things that I need to do and also the accomplished date written in it. The next thing that I did was creating specifications in my criteria, which would be used to assess my blog. In total, I was able to create 4 different specifications. The first one is aesthetics, the second one is content originality, the third one is the schedule timeline, and the fourth one is the writing standard. Then all of this would be graded by 0 to 8. After that, I continued in creating a brand name, which is Yomi's. I also did a brand logo and tagline, and then experimented on my ube babka which is a sweet braided bread that I will be used for my first baked cookies. Together with experimenting for the perfect recipe was also finding the perfect packaging for my product. I first did a rough sketches of my product in some of my arts process journal, and then after that I contacted and inquired different kinds of people regarding their packages, and in the end I was able to have a rose gold aluminum pan which would be used for my packaging. And then I also went to different kinds of baking supply stores to see their prices and compare their prices, and also bought a sufficient number of ingredients for my ube babka. For my future products to be sold on public, I first need to create a Facebook, Instagram, and Gmail account. Then after that, I also did a update regarding their descriptions, username, their category, and also did a highlight story on Instagram. This platform is where I would be used to communicate with my customers and also post some updates regarding my business. The last but not least procedure that I did to finalize my planning phase was creating a blog account in Tumblr. After that, I also researched with some of the websites and YouTube videos to how the app really works. Overall, through this planning journey, I realized how important it is to be prepared and to be ready before executing something. Yes, this is definitely one of the most hardest part in this personal project journey, but you just really need to organize everything well and make sure that everything will turn out good. After months of doing my product, I finally managed to finish them all. When you open the app Tumblr and input the name Yomi's Baking Business Journey, you will see there a total number of 30 blog posts. My blog post mainly focuses on the things that I realized and experienced along this journey, and also some tips and encouragement to the people that are also experiencing this kind of goal. And in each blog post, you will see there a video, GIF, or a picture about the topics that I am going to say. With this platform, people would have experienced the things that a businesswoman or businessman would ever experience, and also give some suggestions to overcome obstacles. All of my ATL skills have been utilized and developed throughout this whole taking action part. Before I even posted my first day of selling in social media, I first researched on different kind of websites and YouTube videos regarding people's experience for their first baking business journey. And there, I was able to take down notes and information regarding the things on how the process will go. With this, I was able to improve my own research skill and also be more open to the things that I am expected to experience. Doing blog posts every week, it is very easy to run out of ideas and contents to talk about. That's why I would always use my thinking skills in thinking of new contents, new ideas, and new information. I don't want my blogs to be very boring and very cliche. That's why I always push myself harder in thinking of innovative ways. Talking with my customers is very important when having a business. At first, I wasn't very used to talking with strangers, but with the use of my social and communication skills, I gained a lot of confidence. It's normal now for me to receive texts, to receive calls, and also gain a lot of interaction with my fellow customers. Finally, for my self-management skills, since I am doing a lot of work every week, I then need to utilize and organize my time effectively. Every week, I would always update my arts process journal, bake and sell my baked goodies, make a reflection, update my minutes of the meeting document, and also post 1 to 3 entries of my blog. And because of this hectic schedule, I then need to organize my time effectively and also practice my self-management skills. And by the end of the day, I did a simple routine for myself to be guided for the things that I need to do, and also to be guided to the things that I need to accomplish every week. To assess my product against my criteria, I will be briefly explaining 4 specifications while grading it with 0 to 8. In regards to my aesthetic specification, where it states to include bright tone of elements just like pastel colors, I believe that I'm able to fully achieve this and make it aesthetically pleasing and organized. For me, I could still add a little bit of pastel pop color for it to be more emphasized. That's why I'm assessing my grade for this aesthetic specification with a grade of 6. The content in my blog were all related from my baking business journey, which hits the specifications perfectly.
I was able to include their text, pictures, GIFs, or videos that are all related to my blog. For me, having a much better and engaging content could be furthermore improved. Then, in terms for the originality of my blog, I was able to write down everything from my own personal experiences with no copyrights. That's why I would be assessing my content and originality specification with a grade of 6. In terms of my schedule and timeline, I was able to finish 30 blog posts without skipping any posts in a week. As I was able to have a strict schedule and also accomplish everything within a period of time, I would then assess my schedule and timeline specification with a grade of 8. The writing standard of my blog were all coming from my own simple words. The text written in there weren't complicated and also easy to understand. Having a much engaging and more pleasing text could be furthermore improved. In general, I would assess my writing standard assessment with a grade of 7. One of the most unexpected challenges that I experienced throughout this journey was getting a lot of messages and orders from my customers, which made it hard for me to focus well. Since there are a lot of things that I'm doing aside from baking, my time was very hectic and I also get tired a lot of times. But because of this challenge, I found an opportunity for me to have strength and give strength for my parents, friends, and supervisor. They were the ones who guided me all throughout this journey for me to overcome this obstacle. As an IB learner, I really grew much myself more than what I expected. From being just a simple student in the school, I was able to accomplish a lot of things in life. I was able to overcome much more obstacles and get out of my comfort zone and practice all of my 10 learner profile. From completing this project, I realized that there are really a lot of things in life that you can achieve if you try. No matter how hard it may seem, the moment you start it, everything just simply feels like an accomplishment. That's why it's better and a good idea to sometimes grab the opportunity and just experience something new in life. To summarize everything that I said, I made an infographic which shows all of the stages that I did for this personal project. Starting from the investigating stage, I first did an inquiry question, know my goal, global context, and prior knowledge, and of course my concern about this issue. I was able to fully apply my research skills in here on researching on different kinds of websites, videos about the tips to consider when having an online business. While next, for my planning stage, I first did a planning process throughout this journey. The first one was creating a timeline, criteria, designing a brand logo, designing a brand tagline, experimenting with my Ube Bobka, finding the perfect packaging, creating a FB and IG account, and Tumblr blog account. Here, I was able to practice my self-management skills more and make a routine for myself. While next, for the taking action stage, I was able to complete all of my blog posts, 30 blog posts with the username of Yomi's Baking Business Journey. Here, I was able to reflect on my experiences in this journey and also give tips and encouragement to the people trying to achieve this kind of dream. I was able to solve my first creation, which is a Ube Bogwa, which you can check it out in my FB and IG account, Yomi's Creations, and also apply my thinking skills and social and communication skills. While lastly, for my reflection stage, I was able to evaluate my product, did a reflection on my Arts journal, know the encountered challenges that I experienced, and also reflect on what I feel as an IB learner. Overall, to all of the dreamers out there, remember that there's a chance waiting for you. I myself experienced this and realized how much progress I went through investigating up until the reflecting stage. Anything is surely possible if you believe. Again, this is Jessica Yomi Co-op presenting my personal project. Bye!
Hello everyone, my name is Ian Benedicto of Grade 10 Section AA of Chiang Kai-shek. Today I'll be presenting my personal project. As we can see in this slide, these are the contents of my presentation for today. Introduction, investigating, planning, taking action, reflecting, and closing. Number 1, investigating. The goal of my project is to create a mashup cover, which is a mix of songs that will be sung by me after. This project is important to me because it is something I am passionate about, and at the same time it is something that I am well aware of and known how to do. Planning. For this project, I will be making it as a video, a mashup music video. For my plan, I will be first doing the timeline, which will help me or set a date, deadlines, and organize when I will be doing certain parts for my project. The next is the criteria, which will help me in evaluating my work as well as organizing it and helping me find the right amount that I need for doing each part of my project. Next is research, which is the research that I'll be doing to help me learn how to use some of the softwares that will be needed that I plan on using, which I may not be aware of. Next is search for songs, which will be the songs that I will be using for the mashup. The making of the lyrics, which is part of the timeline, which I will be doing to to create the lyrics that I will be using for singing the mashup. Next is looking for the background music, which is the music that's going to be part of the mashup, which will be needed in the making. Next is edit or editing, which is editing the mashup once it is already finished. Next, create the video, which is what I will be doing after the mashup, so that it will be considered a mashup video. And last but not least, editing it as well, so that the whole thing will be mixed together, which is the mashup audio and the video. As I was doing this, I also asked help from my siblings who are also known and have learned music as well, for opinions and advice regarding my mashup cover. Taking action. The ETL skills that I learned in this are are thinking skills and communication. Apart from that, it has also helped me. This project has also helped me improve these skills as I've been doing it. It has improved my thinking skills for me to think of better ideas and possibilities for me to do my mashup in different ways, such as instead of doing a video, I may just use an audio, but since I thought of a video as a better idea for me to show it visually as well, not just for people to listen, but for people to observe as well. It has also improved my communication and social skills in a way that I'm able to. Um, it also helps me give thoughts and my own opinions while sharing them to those who help me in sharing their own thoughts and opinions as well as advice based on their own perspective of my work. Reflecting. In this project, I think I was able to do most of my requirements for my criteria, although I did lack in some parts. I lacked a bit in some parts because of the amount that I was unable to do due to how difficult it actually was a mashup, because I honestly wasn't I'm honestly not that skilled in doing this. So doing a mashup is more of a difficult thing for me, since the prior learning that I only have is when it comes to singing. Thank you for listening. Without further ado, I will now be presenting my project.
promised the world and I fell for it. I put you first and you adored it. Set fires to my forest. This is my road, this is my choice. My key in my chorus, and you're the drug that gets me through. I saw the signs and I ignored it. I've been waiting for an answer. Rose-colored glasses all distorted. Set fire to my purpose and I let it burn. You got off on the hurting, but it wasn't yours. I built this bed for me and you. 'Cause you'll never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Maybe I'm right here. What am I now? What am I now? I'm falling again. I'm falling again. I'm falling again. I'm falling. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I give my all and they all know it. Sick of waking up in darkness. You turned me down and now it's showing. Too much you replaced us. Like it was easy, made me think I deserved it. It's clear that you don't have a clue. 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel you too. I wanna see the sunrise on your sins, just me and you. Light it up on the run. Let's make love tonight. Make it up. Fall in love. Try. I love cheap thrills. Come on, turn the radio on. It's Friday night and it won't be long. Gotta do my hair, put my makeup on. It's Friday night and it won't be long till I hit the dance floor. Hit the dance floor, I got all I need. No, I ain't got cash, but I got you, baby. Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. Baby, I don't need dollar bills to have fun tonight. I love cheap thrills. To love, to love, yeah, to love, yeah. I needed to lose you to love me, yeah. To love. Go give love to your body. Don't need you to stop it. Go give love to your body. Go give love to your body. 'Cause you will never be alone. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll hold you when things go wrong. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. I'll be with you from dusk till dawn. Baby, I'm right here. We'd always go into it blindly. What if I'm out? Baby, I'm right here. 'Cause I wanna touch you, baby, and I wanna feel you too. And now it's goodbye for us.